throughout the nation and around the globe. From his heart to yours, it's Dear James Live, bringing you intuitive insight, answers, and advice to your life questions.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Weekly Wisdom and Insights with myself, the Lady Jaclyn, and my fantastic co-host, Dear James, where we bring you human design guidance and intuitive guidance, and we look at the collective energy of what's cracking the weeks to come, the week ahead, what has been happening over the last couple of days. So let's dive straight in, Dear James.
I loved that. The current energies and what's cracking. And I'm like, oh, yes. Cracking, crackling, popping. I mean, the Lady Jaclyn and I, as you all know, we speak, sometimes just a few minutes beforehand, before each show or maybe after for a couple minutes. And we were literally just saying, oh, this Mars energy and our quickness, we've been each dealing with. And we don't know about everyone listening, so tell us in the comments if this is resonating with you. But there's little mini bursts. So when you use that term, cracking, cracking, crackling, what's cracking? These micro bursts of, and then you're fine. And then, and then you're fine. And so there is some of this, because again, it's that crescendo, right, Jaclyn? I mean, here we are. We're jumping in. So we'll get into all of this, but it's so great to be with everybody each and every Wednesday for Weekly Wisdom and Insights. And the Lady Jaclyn and I come together to take your questions live. So by all means, hello, Elizabeth. Hello, everyone from France. That's so awesome. So please, yes, absolutely put your comments in. Let us know where you're joining us from around the globe and everything. And as we continue on with this current June energy, this new... They promised this, didn't they? Didn't they? They said, be ready. Here we go. Come June, be ready. Here we are.
You know what's also so beautiful is that it's like a permission slip. When you're having beautiful conversations like this, when you're holding space for one another, you kind of are reminded that you're not alone on the journey, right? And I'm immediately, like James was saying, just before the conversation, just before we went live, we kind of had a brief conversation. Then we were both like, listen, are you experiencing like micro tantrums, like little outbursts, or like, are you on the edge? And then you kind of, you have this awareness that it's like, it's, I want to say not self, but it's still part of the human experience. And then it literally doesn't linger. So it's not like, it's like pockets of frustration or pockets of anger or pockets of like intense emotions. And what was so beautiful was, it wasn't even like we had to denote why. It was just like, oh, you have it too. Oh, great. I wasn't losing my mind. So it was just kind of like a reminder that you're not alone. And sometimes that's maybe all that you need. So if you're also feeling extremely short-tempered or extremely like kind of like, oh my gosh, everything is triggering you at the moment, you're not alone. We're experiencing it as well. And hopefully with the energy updates for this week, we'll kind of unpack to see what's happening, what energy you have access to, how can you work with this energy moving forward, because I know there has been huge shifts. I mean, the start of June. And then I think it was today or yesterday that Saturn actually also went retrograde. So that's, good gracious, brought up so much stuff as well that I have been feeling like super intensely. And normally, I don't know if it's because you have this awareness or because when you do the work, you feel it stronger. But honestly, like it's like immediate feels. Like every time a planet does something, I can feel it. And then I go do research and I'm like, oh, well, that makes sense. This is why this is coming up. Do you experience that as well?
Absolutely. And that is the word. I mean, and not, yes, for the overall energies, but that triggering. Elizabeth just said, yes, I feel like I'm triggering other people too. And so, yes, because we're triggering each other. And, what's so funny is that in the moment, and like I said, between, I give my mother great grace because we know each other so well and we can trigger and then walk through it, talk through it and be okay again. And it's triggering us. And then I'll sit in the aftermath of something and be like, oh, okay, that's triggering. That's okay, or that's So it's opportune, it's painful, it's not fun sometimes because, as we said it just before the show, oh, wow, I mean, and it's over, but is it over for the other person? And here's Elizabeth saying, yes, I feel like I'm triggering other people. We might have the microburst and we're over it. Is the repercussion of that over, or is it lingering? And how quickly does everybody, kind of course correct and reset, rebound from it, knowing that it's really our own stuff that's coming up for us to release it, to purge it, because as we often say, right, Jaclyn, everybody is that beautiful mirror for us. So,
and I suppose also it's the responsibility of and that kind of gets into a little bit of what the human design is showing us with the energy for this week, but it's kind of taking responsibility. There's like an element of knowing and understanding that, okay, it's part of the human experience. It's okay to have frustrations. It's okay to have moments of like outbursts or temper tantrums. But then again, like, the repercussions of what it actually does to the people around you and how you communicate. And we know that Mercury went direct, so kind of the communication is more open now. But it's being very mindful and knowing that what is the reasons behind the triggers. Like it's not necessarily getting lost in, okay, cool, I've had a temper tantrum, or I was really angry or really frustrated or edgy. It's kind of going, okay, edginess, like, what are you trying to show me? What's trying to come through? What am I trying to feel that I'm actually almost not allowing myself to feel because I'm feeling it's kind of like this resistant energy as well, And sometimes, like, I mean, literally did today was I went to go climb Lion's Head, like in Cape Town. So a mini mountain, but I literally went to go climb because I could feel that if I didn't, I had all this pent up energy that I needed to release. And for me, because of my self-awareness, I know that movement and extreme, like pushing myself on extreme, like physical level, gets that energy to really release. But then it also allows me kind of calmness to really process whatever is happening or whatever's going on. So it's having also that self-awareness and that responsibility, and then that's kind of how you lead moving forward. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And the beauty of what you just said in the literal practical is that physical exercising or the physical movement of something moves our energy. And that is paramount for right now, because again, this is all the weekly energies, the current energies are all about alignment and aligning to the divine. And so it was a very interesting, so this whole piece of how do we come into peace, harmony, how do we align, how do we release, how do we do for ourselves, literally do for ourselves. What is it that we can do for ourselves in these moments so that perhaps we don't trigger others, we don't get triggered, and if we do, we're able to just take that breath, take that pause, that breath, and go, okay, there's a beautiful, it's a funny skit from, I think it's Catherine Tate, a British comedian, where she goes through playing all these different characters, and she says, mumba, 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 not my sandwich. She's supposed to be talking like other cultures, speaking like other cultures, and it's a parody, it's funny, but it's that thing of not taking on something that's not yours, and also not triggering it in someone else. And last before least, Jaclyn, too, because before we jump into all the current energies and take everyone's questions, I'm really aware of the fact that it's not necessarily this lifetime that's triggering. It's past lives. So really stop and look and dive deep to see, because if you have a knowing, I should say, when you have a knowing, and there's a consistency about something, then look to its greater, look beyond the current lifetime, feel into it, do, there are some really great past life regression tapes and everything that you can do literally at home. You need a good hour of solitude by yourself to do it. However, and it will show you these aspects and see, so that you can release the energy of, why does this trigger me? What is it about this moment or this action that's triggering me? And oftentimes what I'm noticing right now in the present is it's not about this lifetime. It's not about this lifetime. The action, the interaction and the action might be in this lifetime, but the real root of the irritant, the irritation, is from lifetimes ago, other lifetimes. So bear in mind and open yourselves to those opportunities as well to release. And so right off the top of the hour, right, we've got exercise, physical exercise to release and balance and harmonize. Past life regression, yes, look at those. We'll post some. There's one from Richard Sutphin that's really good. So I'll post that in the comments and everything.
And it kind of goes hand in hand with the Saturn moving retrograde, because it's all about rebalancing karmas as well. So it's like that past life. And it's so true. Like when you said it, it was almost like, yes, you hit the nail on the head, because a lot of times before something in my physical reality triggers me, I'm already feeling triggered based on things that are coming up in my mind. And it's 99.9% of the time, it's past things, past situations, past experiences or memories that come up in that moment for whatever reason. Well, we know now because it's obviously clearing, but whatever sparks it, it's designed to come up in that moment, right? And it's having the awareness of going, okay, so instead of pushing it down, it's going through the process right now, because this is the gift that we've all been given, is to go through this process, to actually rework the karma, to let all things go, to move into forgiveness and peace, and to kind of rebalance and reset and reconnect as well. There was a lot of re's because of the Mercury retrograde, but it definitely is because of a lot of the planets that are going retrograde as well, which is so beautiful and so exciting, but also, good gracious, like I'm feeling it. Like I'm really in the moment of the human experience.
Isn't it?
I'm glad we can laugh about it now, but yeah.
Yes, and welcome everybody. Evelyn, Rourke, Ian, Jennifer, Brigitte, everyone, Elizabeth. So thank you all. As always, thank you all for joining us and sharing the space with us as we walk this journey together, because as the Lady Jaclyn just said at the top of the hour, you are not alone. We are not alone. We are all in this together. And there's an end game. I'm just looking at my notes from today's current energies, Jaclyn, and they said there's an end game. And this goes to what Ian just said, that there's two energies. This kind of triggering energy, like I've forgotten something, oh my gosh, and I'm going to be in trouble, and then this calmness, that everything's perfectly aligned and fine, and you are where you're meant to be, and you're walking the steps. And I really asked them at the end. I'm going to the end, and this is funny because it literally says with this particular energy, you look to the end for the beginning. I mean, because they're contained within one another. And so I said in my mind, what's the end game? Because I heard end game, and I go, okay, well, what's the end game? And they said, touchdown, score, big win, huge. And I instantly had that line from the iconic movie Pretty Woman, where she's like, you work on commission, right? And she goes, big mistake, huge. Well, this is about big win, huge. Like that epic moment where our lives are transformed. And we'll speak to that in a minute. I want you, good Jaclyn, to lead off with the human design and where we are, what's happening, and let's share with everyone where that is.
And so it ties in beautifully with the human design. The sun is in gate 45 at the moment, and the 45 comes from the throat gate, and then it leads into the will center or the heart through gate 21. And 21 is actually also defined because it is in, let's just see, Mars. Yeah, it's in Mars. So what we're all experiencing is defined heart centers and defined throat centers. And then also with the 4323 defined ajna centers. So if, for example, if you look at your chart and you don't have the heart center defined, which means colored in, if you don't have your throat center defined or colored in, and if you don't have that ajna colored in, this is the collective energy or the transit energy, that's the correct way of saying it, is giving you consistent flow in that space. So you're able to understand what it feels like to have consistent energy flow in those centers for the next six or 7 days, right? So what does that actually bring up? With the 45, it's all about that leadership, and that's kind of what I started off with. So it's kind of leading yourself, but it's also looking at the bigger picture. And it's so beautiful how you just, dear James, how you just said, it's kind of like looking at the end goal, taking a look at the bigger picture, knowing and understanding where we're going, and then also not getting lost in micromanaging or trying to control every little aspect, right? Because you work in partnership with the 21, and the 21 is the control, the controller in a positive sense, right? And the manager, you can look at it as that, like the manager of resources and finances and things, where the 45 is kind of the coordinator and the leader and kind of like putting everything into place. So you can see how there's a beautiful partnership and a symmetry and a lot of networking and community and coming together at this point as well. So it's really looking at who you're surrounding yourself with. Are they empowering you? How do you empower the people that are around you in whatever space it is, whether it be your private private partnership or friends or within career or within business. So it's really looking at not necessarily the end goal being only about the material or profit, even though it's a very, I want to say material energy, a physical energy. That's probably a better way of saying it. And this is why we also kicked off the hour with kind of like movement and being like physically within your body, right? So it's transcending the idea of focusing just on the physical. So looking at the definition of success. Are you just defining success based on what you have, based on the car you drive, the work that you do, the people that you surround yourself with? Like, it's actually transcending that and looking at the bigger picture of, we can only get to where we want to go with the help of other people and with the help of the right people, right? So it's kind of getting the right people in your corner. It's about collaborating, co-creating, symmetry, synergy. So it's looking at long-term instead of short-term gratification as well, which is really, really important. So kind of like just checking in with yourself to see, hold on, where am I trying to feel fulfilled with short-term gains? Because that's not going to make you feel fulfilled. That's actually going to be one of the triggers as well. So it's kind of resetting your mind and reminding yourself to look at the long game, while knowing and understanding that everything is already unfolding as it should, right? The 26 energy, we're grounded in that 26. It's known for its ability to really understand and know what's in people's hearts. So at this time, you might see that your business, you're really feeling you've got that willpower to actually sell what it is that you do, and you've got this beautiful way of articulating in a very confident way. This is what you do. This is how you can, or who you serve, how you serve. So it's kind of looking at how you can embody that salesperson energy in a very authentic way, right? Because when everybody hears sales, they always think negative, but it's actually always, remember, there's always polarity, but it is very positive energy as well. So like we said, that Saturn is going retrograde, so kind of being mindful of any karmic old past patterns that are coming up that you're kind of working through. Allow yourself to work through them. Be kind as you go through the process. Know and understand that any emotions that are coming up now are potentially also going to be triggered based on communication. Where do you feel like you can't communicate? Maybe you're feeling like you really do want to speak up now, or maybe you really want to feel like you can express yourself for the first time, or you're stepping into that power at least. It's also about self-worth and self-value, how you're placing value on who you are or what you do. So like where your self-worth comes or your value comes from. And then also having a very unique perspective. So it's kind of being mindful of what the ideas that are coming in for you, the inspiration that might trigger some inspired action, and kind of flowing again with your truth. So making sure that you're following always your unique inner authority or your decision making, like internal guidance system. But know that you have this beautiful energy that's kind of getting you to move forward, but you don't have to push so hard. So it's just kind of like easing into the flow, knowing that you just got to trust when that kind of spark hits for you. Does that make sense?
You're gorgeous. You made what you all couldn't see off camera was me just beaming and smiling, and especially when the Lady Jaclyn was talking about the energies of Gate 45 and this whole of the unity of things, and who are you aligning with, and all of this, because it was this in my head. I was laughing. I'm like, mic drop moment, because that is exactly. I mean, we cannot make this stuff up, and we don't coordinate ahead of time. We don't we listen, we do our thing, and we come, and that is exactly the energies and the current message and everything that I received today was this whole message about unity, uniting, coming together, and this message of, which is very funny, because it speaks to what the Lady Jaclyn was just speaking about, which is, what are you focused on? Who are you with? What are you actually uniting with? And an internal uniting. So we've been talking about these energies and how we're being triggered, and how the past life things and the opportunities. All of this is to unite within, unite ourselves, and then, because what we unite within unites outwardly. And so, because the overall message here is about uniting, coming together, so as to not be late to the party. They were literally like, do not be late to the party. And what that means is, as Jennifer had said in her comments, like, something big's coming. I feel like I might be missing something, or these energies, I'm between these two, and yet I know something's coming. It's that thing. It's about, so overall message, aligning to the divine, ... in you. The don't be late to the party is about, where are you going? We've been talking about, it's a 6-year. This is a 6-month. So we got double sixes. So when you see in our world events, you see people, quote unquote, doubling down. Well, you're either doubling down on conflict, or you're, quote unquote, doubling down on destiny, on your future, on moving forward. And so this message is about aligning to the divine in you, uniting, coming together, so as to not be late to the party. Because what happens when you go to an event, or you join a group, or you do something, when you come on time, when you come together, and that's both individually and collectively, when you come at the first meeting, when you come together in the beginning, there is something that is fortified and unified and created. The magic of that moment is in its formation. It's in its initiatory experience. And then you know what it's like when you're 30 minutes late, or an hour late, or weeks late, or whatever, and you're like, well, but, because you weren't part of it in the beginning. You weren't ready or together, or, and so this is the energy that they're speaking to, is the unseen is being very clear. It's about uniting, aligning, coming together, aligning with the divine in you. So it's both with the divine and the divine in you. And don't be late to the party. Because what happens, the magic that happens, is in the beginning. There may not be, so, quote unquote, there may not be room. So choose to be on time. Choose to come to the party on time. The next thing they gave me, and I'm going to talk, there's a beautiful quote I just want to put up for a moment, because it speaks to this. Oops, went to the outro instead of the quote. Hey, there we go. There's the quote. So it says, to cultivate fulfillment in life, you must live it from the inside out. For life does not happen to you, but rather because of you. We often say for you. Life happens for you because you're choosing it. It's already part of your soul plan. You're choosing these things. So life does not happen to you, but rather because of you. It's because of the choices we make. And so it's a beautiful quote from Carrie Hone from Cafe au Sol, who I often quote with the I Ching. And so, anyways, to jump back into this, they gave me the Magician. And the Magician is the first major arcana in the tarot. It also has to do with the number 8, the symbol of infinity. And today is June 8th, so it's the 8. And they showed me the Magician right away. And it speaks to the fact that it says, sorry, I just want to move this if I can. See if I can do it. Maybe not. This is where you can't, you have too many things open on your screen. You're trying to find it. There we are. So it says, when the Magician appears, It points to the talents, capabilities, and resources at the querent's disposal to succeed, meaning what's at our ability. The message is to tap into one's full potential rather than holding back, especially when there is a need to transform something. So you can see how they're showing us, we spoke about this, Jaclyn, what was the gate? Was it 16? Where you have everything? It was from a couple shows ago. I think it's gate
16. Yeah, you have the skills.
There we are. So here it was like 2 shows ago or something. Where's the sun going? Oh, we're in gate 16, this piece of, here it is. You have everything you need. Today's energy, the 8th, the magician. The magician has all the tools of the 4 signs, the 4 degrees, the 4 winds. It's there. And it's saying, don't hold back. Be your full self. So this can be just in being. It doesn't, in living, in being, it's about be your full self. You have everything you need. The 2022, the 22 is about adorning. And then I heard preparing the way, the bride. From a religious standpoint, we are the bride. Every human walking the planet is the bride. So they're preparing the way for the bride, with the bride, the adorning. The adorning is when we design our homes, when we put on clothes and hair and makeup and, accoutrements and everything. This is all about adorning. But it's also about adorning the inside. It's to remember that what we adorn internally is reflective externally. This is the beauty of the point. And lastly, they gave me this beautiful piece, Jaclyn, about, and I heard the phrase choice point. But when they got to the point, it was Pointe. And the definition of the word point with an E on it is from ballet and everything. And it's the beautiful imagery of when a ballerina on point stands on the tiptoe, on the toe, and is vertically erect, all in alignment, perfect symmetry. And look at the poise and the beauty, the grace of that. And they're saying it's a choice point. Are we on point internally, externally, from a standpoint of destiny? Are you on point? Are you wobbling? Where are you on your journey? And if you're not, quote unquote, on point, course correct. Make these changes so as to be in alignment with your divine self. Because you're going, the party's arriving. It's like Jennifer, oh, there's something big happening. Yeah, the party's arriving. There's a party. There's a great celebration. There's a great regeneration, renewal. Are you on time? Are you on, did you RSVP? These are the energies that are building, they're saying, crescendoing, building. It's like knowing there's an event we're all going to.
And the energy is also not what I'm getting from it as well. It's a very receptive energy. It's not a pushing energy. So it's kind of going, okay, cool. Are you on time? Course correct, but that course correct is not trying to control the situation, but it's allowing the situation or allowing everything to unfold the way that it's designed to unfold anyway. So there is and what I've noticed because of my experience, literally, is the more you push, the harder it's going to get, actually. And I mean, you're talking like coming from literally a person who has the 51 in their sun, an Aries, Mars is my ruling planet. I mean, there's everything about me is an initiator, and then I have the projector, which is actually my strategy is waiting for an invitation, which is hilarious. We actually had this discussion, James, off air, and then James was like, your soul was really funny because it kind of gave you this beautiful polarity of the best of both worlds, because it knew, okay, you need to contain that energy so that you don't, like just explode and everyone around you is like, where did that come from? But what's so beautiful is it's like this, it's not this pushing energy, it's not a forcing energy, it's allowing, it's an unfolding, and it's through the process of dealing with everything that's coming up, because everything that's coming up is designed to come up so that you can clear, so you can become wiser, so you can become stronger, so that you can be the leader that you're designed to be. And it's not the old way of leading, it's the new way of leading. It's the new terminology of leadership, right? I almost want to say, like, the word leadership, there's a better word for what the energy actually encompasses. You know what I mean?
Yes, because it's almost like going from, it's in essence being because leadership implies an external, outside energy, as opposed to being, unity, uniting, being is. It is the I am. At I am, I don't have to quote unquote lead because I already am. I am leading while following, while receiving, while executing. It's all in one. It's all encompassing. It's not separate from. And so that's in the hexagram information that we're going to bring in. Brigitte was talking about how she, during meditation, and it made me think of you because a projector, this, to ask for the right mentors to come into her path to help her. This invitation, they're talking about, don't be late to the party, to the celebration, to the renewal. We've been invited. We have all been invited. It's like Charlie and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. We all have a golden ticket. And if you've ever seen the movie, if you've watched the movie, you'll see there was 4 or 5 children that had the golden ticket. Only one of them ultimately, received the ownership because they made choices that prevented them from receiving the ultimate, the touchdown, the win, the big win, huge. Well, it's the same thing here. We all have a golden ticket. We all have the opportunity to have the touchdown, the score, the big win, huge. Are we going to accept it? Are we going to align and receive? And this is not, I know, Jaclyn, you and I talk all the time about where the unseen and the literal and the practical. To boil this down into a literal, practical manner of what the unseen is saying is simply to believe that you and our world and whatever is and will change, and in a way that's unexpected, that we haven't experienced before. And it simply means, are you in alignment with that possibility, with that belief? And if so, from the inside out, we are internally aligning and shifting to be on point in French.
It's focusing on the bigger picture, right?
It's being aligned. It's being aligned with it. It's being aligned with destiny, the arc of destiny. The arc moves forward. It doesn't get stuck. It doesn't go backwards.
Mm-hmm.
The arc is forward. It's just
because the truth actually is, even though you feel like you're going backwards, you're still moving forward.
Absolutely, because we can see, if you're following any of the US kind of moment, it appears as though, and this is playing out in other countries around the globe, it appears as though where we've been, like the 1950s, is returning. This whole concept and mindset of the 1950s and the culture of the 1950s, like it's having a resurgence, but it's simply the illusion. It's simply the mirror of showing us where we've been, juxtaposed against, because they fear where we're going, and where we're going is the beauty of equality and openness and wholeness and oneness and unity, and everyone has a place at the table and you have a life of respect and kindness and goodness. That's where we're going. So it just rears its head because it's in the past.
It's actually like the epitome of rebalancing karma.
Yes.
That's exact, and it's kind of, instead of getting lost in the things you can't control, because there's always things we can't control, right? It's kind of focusing on the things we can control while maintaining the trust and the knowing in the bigger picture. And that's kind of like what you were saying, which is really actually embodying the bigger picture, you know, where we're going, where we're headed, not getting lost in the present moment of, I want to say the little, even though it's really big things that are happening, but it's not the only thing that is happening. It's just that's where the light is shining at the moment, you know, like that's where the spotlight's on. But there's so much more happening in the world. Like there's so many more things that are happening that people don't recognize or people don't notice. So it's kind of, now this is the responsibility to refocus and reframe where we're putting our intention, our focus, our mindset, our energy, like what is, do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, this is the time where we really need to be mindful of the way that we're actually moving forward, you know?
Right, because they're giving me the image of the like when you would play jacks, you know, and stuff, but the I forget the name of the device, but you spin the jack.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's on point, it spins perfectly in balance and everything. It's directly, you know, north-south aligned. It's in perfect alignment. And only at its very end does it start to wobble out. Mm-hmm. And that's, you know, the Earth, we're off our axis by 23 point something degrees. We're on a wobble. Well, if it aligns back to its perfect center, on point, to be on point, like the ballerina. Mm-hmm. So this is what the Lady Jaclyn is speaking to. It's what the unseen is giving us. It's what the human design energies are telling us. Align with your true north-south center. Align, be on point. We talk about the eye of the storm, the eye of the hurricane. To be in the center is to be on point. It's to be on point. If we're not, we're wobbling. We're outside in the chaos, in the illusion. And yet we have a golden ticket. We have an invitation to the party. Don't be late. Don't get caught up in the crud, in the minutia, because you've got a gold. I'm seeing like got a golden ticket, and all these people going through with their ticket, like, you know, they're just going. They're entering the party. They've arrived. You don't want to be the ones sitting back and second guessing and wondering if there is a better, you know, if there's this party, if there's a better future. Because, you know, it's like they say, you know, there's a capacity limit, you know, like all venues or all, you know, they have a capacity, right? Well, now, granted, the unseen and the universe is limitless. Okay, but I'm giving you what they're showing me, which is, okay, well, but does everyone enter? No.
So, you know, when you're talking that, and this is, I think, something that I always notice in terms of conditioning with myself, and then when I have conversations or when I sit with people's charts as well, clients' charts, is that we're so focused on the destination to attain fulfillment, freedom, joy, satisfaction, abundance, whatever you put that word out, whatever resonates with you. But we're so focused on it, we're getting there, right? And every, like, the foundation of whatever we speak about together on the show is literally an internal understanding and knowing that it's not outside of you, it's inside of you, right? So therefore it's not the destination, it's the process. So when you're saying, and when you're, and I know that this is kind of the energy behind it, but I kind of want to remind people, because of the conditioning that I see, that it's not waiting for you to go through with your golden ticket and then you will fill in the blank. No, it's kind of feeling that already because you have it.
Yes.
And that's kind of what you're articulating, is like you have the golden ticket already. It's not like you're like we're always joking and saying we're waiting on the train, like let's go, like there's a train moving. Completely different story. But it's literally about embodying whatever it is that you're searching for right now. So if it is to really feel more love, then how can you love right now? Because you can.
Or be love,
like,
and be love.
And be love, 100%. Embody love, experience love,
Be it,
inspire
offer
love,
it.
empower love, like everything, right? But that's the key. It's like it's in the now. It's instead of, again, like your mind immediately wants to go, okay, wait, when I get the better job and have more money, then I will. Or when I have a different partner, then I will. Or the partner, then I will. Or when I live in that house, then I will. You fill in the blank. But
Right.
you can experience that. Well, you should be actually experiencing that now by the notion of the law of the universe, which is everything that you desire, you need to be a vibrational match to it. And if you're not feeling that vibration, it's not going to come into your reality because you're not matching up with it. Doesn't mean because you haven't created it yet, or you're not worthy. No, it's because you literally feel a lack.
And what was popping into was like, and when I see the party, I'll believe in the party. We're using that as the analogy that the universe has given. Don't be late to the party. Well, there are those that say that the best of the times are in the past. They're behind us, and I want to bring them back. As opposed to, no, the best of the times is in front of us. It exists. It's already present in there. You already have an invitation. You have a golden ticket. You're already on the train. Be that, experience that, know that, so that it's instantaneous. You're already there. There will be frustrations because we can feel it. We can all feel everything changing. And yet in some, it's a weird, it's this energy that everyone's speaking to, and Deborah and everybody's articulating in the comments. This, on one hand, it's this triggering, snarky, whatever, this impatient pressure energy. And then this all-knowing energy, this calm, this peace, this, why am I doing that? Because I know it's okay. I know where we're going. I may not yet have seen it, or am experiencing it. And the lesson then, Jaclyn, which is what you're speaking to, is be it now. Be it now. Align, and that's the thing, aligning, unifying, coming together. Don't be late to the party. Because our choices is to go or not go. Attend or not attend. I'm certainly attending. I'm putting that out there for everyone listening. I'm going. I'm attending.
Present. It was interesting today. I really had a moment or an experience of true understanding. What is the Italian word? It's the art of doing nothing. It's when they say, I'm going to Google it and then I'll let you know. If you are listening and if you do know the Italian explanation or the art of doing nothing, it's like where they do nothing, right? But they enjoy it and they actually just be present in the moment. And because we're so conditioned to always do something, we are so quick to place our value in what we do, right? And today it was like the universe has really been playing with me and kind of guiding me to understand where true fulfillment comes from and kind of like what my purpose is and moving forward and self-awareness. And today it was really interesting because I had a moment, because it was so our geyser, like my geyser blew, and so I haven't had hot water since Monday, but then today I had no water the entire day, so I literally was bathing with like kettle in a basin, like. And then I thought to myself, okay, so I went to hike a mountain. I couldn't wash off because I had to wait. The geyser guys were still coming to come fix it. And I sat outside and I just lay there and had our domestic like cleaning the floors, and I didn't want to interrupt her, so I went outside and I just sat there and I was like, okay, so now what? Like what do I do? Like it's midday, I'm waiting. But then I thought, actually, this is really nice because the sun is really beautiful here in Cape Town at the moment. The weather's been absolutely incredible. We've had beautiful warm days. And I'm lying there and I'm listening to the birds chirp and I'm seeing the blue sky and I'm looking at the roses or the flowers. And I'm so focused on just relaxing and being present in this moment that I could truly embody fulfillment and truly embody like there's nothing else that I should be doing right now besides this. And my brain was so calm and so quiet from all of the chatter that it just allowed me just to relax. And I was able to feel into my body and stretch and move. And I realized how difficult it was for me to do this. And how easy it was actually that when I actually let go and embrace the whole experience, I got it so easily, and I couldn't believe it took me so long. Like it was so difficult for me to truly just be in the present moment and release and surrender. And I was like, wow, I get it. How easy is it? Why did it take me so long? And this is that energy that you're referring to, like, don't be late to the party. But sometimes you'll only know it when you can look back. And I know with my energy, because of my self-awareness, I do get it. The aha, the when you know that light bulb drops. I get it when I look back and I go, oh, that makes sense. But it doesn't mean that I got it late. It just means that now I get it. And once you get it, you can't unget it. Like once you're awake, you can't go back to sleep. Right?
That's right. Yeah. I often say, from the universe, once the bell's been rung, you can't unring the bell. And there's this, they were just saying to me, the frustrations, the anxieties, the pitfalls, all of the pressures that we experience are the ones we create. Because ultimately, when you look at anything, any situation in your life, it is self-created. That's the message of that beautiful thing about it. It's not that happening to you, it's the one you're creating. Because any pressure, it's because I internally have put on layers to the event, to the experience that's occurring, that labels it, defines it, pressure or frustration or whatever, when in reality, it's neutral. Mm-hmm. So again, it's an internal choice to say, okay, well, it's not a frustration or a pressure or an anxiety or whatever. It's simply an experience that I am co-creating, and thereby I have the choice and the ability, I have all the tools in my arsenal, like the magician, to manage this without any drama, hyperbole, anxiety. It just requires me to, like you were just saying, have that moment, step it down out of the rafters, come back to center, and proceed from that place. I just wanted to jump, Jaclyn, Elizabeth had mentioned that as soon as I admitted my shortcomings after last week's meeting, things began to shift. During meditation, she receives amazing things and then sometimes comes out of them unsure about what to do with the information. So let's break this down into two things, because this is really beautiful. Once I admit my shortcomings, things shift. This is what we were talking about. Like once we do something and we see ourselves, we experience it, whether it's past life, whether it's, and we release that, we shift, we change, we become, deeper, wider, higher, broader. It's simply the willingness to choose to say, that's me, that's mine. I'm triggering that. You showed up. Thank you for being the mirror, playing the role, but that's mine. And all of a sudden it does release. You can feel it from the inside go, and it's gone, right? Mm-hmm. And then this beautiful piece about when you see things, I mean, there are meditations where I'm just tears running down your face because it's so beautiful. The thing, Elizabeth, that I do, and I want Jaclyn to chime in with this as well. The thing that I do is I let everything be, meaning I don't have to prove or disprove anything that I receive in meditation and so forth. And that is both the power, the empowerment, and the beauty of it. And then I just allow it. I find the joy in it, or the poignancy, or whatever it might be, the sorrow or the release of something. I just let it be what was presented. And then the way it's coming to him, and then I awaken to the experience when it manifests, when it presents itself in the physical. So the key point would be, don't force or believe that you have to believe or disbelieve what you receive in those beautiful states of meditation, dream states, altered REM states. Simply allow. And then, like the magician, watch the magic unfold.
What's so interesting is what happens, what I noticed what happened with me as well before I had the awareness of it, is because of the excitement of what the information that you receive, you kind of want to manifest it. You want it to be in your reality, like right now. So you kind of, I don't know if it's an Aries thing or what, but like, I'm like, okay, great, you're showing me this now. Can we make it happen? Can I really live this experience? What I learned was that was kind of the control, was where was that impatience coming from? Because maybe I wanted to experience the feeling of having it, so that's kind of what we alluded to, kind of experiencing it before you have it and therefore it attracts it. But also what the practice that I do is I do a heart meditation, so kind of checking in with my heart, which is checking into your intuition as well. And it's kind of like I ask my heart, okay, what would you like? What do you need from me now? And then what is it that you want to show me? And then here's another question that I ask, and it completely escaped me right now. But it's literally allowing your heart, your intuition to guide you on what inspired action to take, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's so interesting because the guidance is it's like quick, short, very in the moment kind of knowings of, okay, great. And then it's trusting it. The next step would be trusting it, right? So sometimes I'd hear like joy, and then I know, oh, okay, I need to have more joy. And then I trust it. I don't go down the rabbit hole of trying to explain or rationalize or interpret joy. It's just this resonance, this internal knowing of, okay, joy. What sparks joy? How can I focus on joy? How can I be joy? What gives me joy? And that kind of then feels good and it's empowering, and then that kind of moves you through what next inspired actions to take, which is really beautiful. So whether it is that you do your own heart meditation or you just literally checking in with your intuition and you kind of ask and you say, okay, what inspired action do you want me to take now? Or where do I feel called to go or follow? Where do you want me to put my energy? And sometimes, like my experience today, it's actually doing nothing. It's literally the sweetness of doing nothing, which is so fulfilling. At the end of the day, get you to realign or kind of recenter, so that you go, oh, I get it. And meantime, I had to do nothing in order to get it. I mean, good gracious, that is mind-boggling.
It is, isn't it? I mean, we had to do nothing to receive everything. It's that beauty.
Literally.
And it's so simple.
Oh my God, it's crazy.
I have a dear friend. She has since transitioned and everything, but she was so mindful about, KISS, keep it simple, silly. And that's really the arc of the truth. When you want to know what the truth is, look for the most simplistic answer, because it will never defy you. Because contained within the truth, the simplicity of it is that simple. It's just that simple, but we make it so hard. I laugh because it's like the difference for me between an Apple, a laptop, an Apple Macintosh laptop, and Windows. In an Apple, think of the simplest thing to do. Oh, you want to just delete something? Oh, just drag it to the trash can. That's it. Now, back in the, MS-DOS, Microsoft days and everything, it was like Control-C, da-da-da-da-da. You had this whole thing to go through. Just now Windows is out. But it's like, okay, but think of the simplest thing, the most simplistic thing. And that's it. That's how it was created and designed. We make it so complicated, and it's not.
Yep.
And that's the beauty of the current energies right now is
keep it simple.
We make it so complicated. Don't. Keep it simple. Stay in the eye of the hurricane. Be on point. Be on time. and choose, really choose that you've got the golden ticket and you're going. Are you going forward? Are you going? Or are you somehow gonna, hold back, stay back, and fight it out? And I'm like, no, thank you. Because it's not, we don't have to do it that way. And that's the magic of the universe. We don't have to do it that way.
No, because there's an easier way.
And it already exists.
Exactly. I was going to say, it's sometimes the very thing that you're actually fighting against is the actual key or the answer or the secret source that you've been looking for this entire time. Like, I literally had that realization today. So on that note, it is 555. Very interesting, because I actually got 555 yesterday. Then I woke up to 111 this morning, and now I'm seeing 555 again. I actually went to go Google 555, and I'm like, who's the angel number for 555? And it was change and transformation, and I was like, yes, I'm embracing it. Thank you. Let's go.
Right.
But on that note, we are very, very grateful and so thankful that you were able to join us for the hour. We are going to be back tomorrow for the Science and the Soul show. I'm super excited about the topic, because it does actually lead into, or it kind of is a continuation of what we've been speaking about, but in the sense of, do you want to go ahead and introduce the topic then?
I had to clear my throat center. I knew I was going to cough.
Because it's such a big one. It's like big, right?
And it's so beautiful how it flows with this. It's consciously creating the life you live, and thus your destiny, your legacy. It's really about your legacy. What is your legacy? And that is a powerful question. Look at me. Look at how it's like tickling the back of my throat. I'm laughing. What's your legacy? And we think of that in the past tense. And when the Lady Jaclyn and I spoke about this topic, it was literally about consciously creating your life, because that creates your legacy. And that's the powerful topic for tomorrow. And again, you can see how today's show plays into that broader discussion. And then we'll have the tools, and the universe will guide the Lady Jaclyn and I, and we'll have that more expanded conversation tomorrow.
I'm super excited. Thank you so much, everyone. Same time, same place. Yeah, live with us tomorrow. Thursday for the Science and the Soul show. That was a tongue twister. You must have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your week. If you do feel called, please share this video as well with those that need the inspiration. They need the reminder, maybe to keep it simple. They also may be asking the questions, what's happening right now? How can I actually get through this? And just by you sharing the video, we can actually, hold space for more beautiful souls as we all transform and progress through this journey. As always, yes. It was absolutely incredible. Dear James, thank you so much.
Yes, always. And just to say to everyone, and Jaclyn, as you know, and to everyone listening, thank you all so, so much for joining us on this journey. And I personally cannot wait to see you all on the other side of this at the party, because I know there is one, and we're all attending. And it's just a beautiful thing that we all come together each week, and we really appreciate your presence, your grace, and your reflection. So namaste to everyone, and we will see you for tomorrow's show.
You've been listening to Dear James Live. Gain intuitive insight, answers, and advice to your life questions, and so much more by tuning in next week and visiting DearJames.com.